Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Lions Den podcast. Sorry, so I'm having some pop-up windows come out. For everybody watching us via YouTube, hello, welcome. We have lots to talk about tonight as Liga MX is on pause and Leagues Cup will be starting. So we'll definitely talk about kind of a little summary of how Leon's been doing in Liga MX leading up to this other tournament. And we'll definitely talk about who's available, who made the trip, who didn't, and stuff like that, as well as looking into our Leagues Cup group and just an overall aspect of what that Leagues Cup looks like this year compared to last year. But yeah, so everybody joining us, hello. As always, feel free to jump in the comments, let us know what your thoughts are, and we'll definitely share them on the screen. Gentlemen, Carlos, Louis, and Javi tonight. And how are we feeling just kind of leading up to this Leagues Cup? I know Carlos and Louis made trips, so they'll be an assistance of Leon's first game.
Yeah.
Excited. First time out here in Portland. It's a nice city. I like it.
I didn't realize it was your first time.
Yeah, it's my first time out here.
I obviously grew up here, so this is not my first time. But yeah. Well, I didn't know that. That makes it all the more exciting. Carlos.
Yeah, I was on a Uber and the guy was like, "Oh, I'm a soccer fan," and I was like, "Oh, me too. I'm here for the Leon game." And he was like, "I'm a Timbers fan," so I'm like, "Oh man, I'll see you there though. I'll see you there."
Well, I'm a Timbers fan too. I'm double dipping on the club colors as we speak right now. There's going to be a lot of that this week, just because I feel like one of those parents whose kids play for rival college football teams and they have the two half jerseys sewn together. Yeah, that's kind of what
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. You either have to pick one team to be dressed up as a stadium or the other. Don't be that.
I would
have
never,
one jersey.
He's gonna be that. He's gonna do
it. I would never mangle a jersey like that. I feel like that is sacrilegious to do that. I would never disrespect a jersey of any team by doing that. No, I will only be wearing one jersey. You'll have to wait until match day to see which one. But yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that thing. But I'll tell you, that is how I'm feeling right now. I have my loyalties are divided.
Look, Louis, you better choose wisely. That's all I'm saying.
You're the Fiero Viajero, not the Timber Viajero.
That's true.
That's
true.
Come on.
But as Javi knows, since we've appeared on all these MLS podcasts, I do have an MLS community in addition to the Fiero Viajero community. I'm trying to divide myself between two communities, and it's easier said than done.
Gave Rodrigo Fernandez a hug right now.
I forgot to tell you guys something funny. This past other weekend when I went to the Santos Tigres game, there was like two rows in front of me, right? There's like a line of chavos just sitting, right? And I saw one of them had Leon jersey, and I'm like, oh, I was like, oh, here's a Leon jersey. Tell me why he takes a look right, left, takes off the Leon jersey and has a Santos one underneath, and I'm like, what was the point, bro, of you even coming in a Leon jersey if you're gonna take it off 2 seconds after you sat down and have a Santos jersey for the Santos Tigres game? Like, that made no sense to me.
Yeah, there's I have so many questions.
I need green. Just like the green. He's like, I need something green. I don't know.
Like, why does he even have the Leon jersey in the first place? And
I don't know.
And he was just carrying the Leon jersey on his shoulder when he got out to get beer and whatnot.
It's kind of beautiful. I just want to buy it.
Why did you even bother bringing it if you're gonna change and just have it over your shoulder?
They're not all there in the head, Then he just did what he had to do.
He probably lost the bet.
It doesn't make any sense to me either, but
maybe he lost a bet, but I thought it was just strange.
Yeah.
Like, seeing.
Why would Leon have to do
bar or anything? It was at a stadium.
That is pretty funny. Anyway. It's pretty random.
Really random.
Some really guy. Imagine if. Yeah, that's weird. I've never seen that. That's just a weird thing in general, right?
Yeah, man.
Very. Okay, guys. So let's just talk about a bit of last jornada and how we ended that last jornada before Leagues Cup. Sunday's matchup.
It wasn't
Louis,
pretty.
what did you? Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but Louis, what did you get any sense from the fans there at that point? Like after cuatro jornadas, was it the more the same, a bit different, or?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of restlessness. I mean, the stadium taken a lot longer to sell out these days than in years past. I mean, at the end, it was decently full, but there's a lot of restlessness. The fans are definitely not. They're definitely not pleased, and they take every opportunity they get to show that displeasure, whether it be directed at Jorge Baba or whether it be directed at underperforming players such as Alan Medina. They definitely take their opportunities to express their displeasure. I will say this personally. I do see signs of life from this club. These last couple matches, first against Puebla and against Necaxa, I do see definite signs of life from the team. It's just the way things are now. That there's a lot of pressure to stack up wins and points in these first few matches before this League Cup break, because now we're going into something completely different. It doesn't have anything to do with anything, and we're going to be a month off from Liga MX. And so it is, in spite of seeing some signs of life, it's unfortunate to have only a couple of points to our name. 3 out of 12 points possible going into this Leagues Cup break. If you want to look on the bright side of things, it is only one loss and 3 draws. But I understand the fans' frustration. I mean, I'm in there too. I try to keep things positive. I know how our league works. I know there's always going to be an opportunity at the end to make a run. That's just the way the league is. But it sucks to play 4 matches, not get a win, have only 3 points out of 12. That is not ideal. Even last year, we had a win. We had 1 win going in, and we didn't even play as many matches before the break. I believe it was only 2 matches, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3. But we had a win. We had some more points to our name before taking the break last year for Leagues Cup, and it is very frustrating. I understand. I think in general our fan base has gotten a little out of hand when it comes to the critiquing and just the negative attitude and everything is the alarmist nature of our fan base. And maybe we're not the only fan base that's doing that, but man, it just seems like everywhere you look, everybody's freaking out about absolutely everything in this fan base. And we got 3 draws, we got 3 results. The biggest issue is that this is a pretty, this opening part of the season is perhaps, one of the lightest stretches. You have Puebla and Necaxa back to back. I mean, you want to get more than 2 points out of that.
Yeah.
Because those are the points dropped that no matter, later in the season, you're just going to have a lot less margin for error if you do want to make that run. Because it doesn't get any easier from here. When we do finally come back to Leagues Cup play, okay, we start with Santos. I know, Cuddy, you're up there with them. They're not doing too well. But then after that, it just it's going to get a lot tougher before it gets easier. So we did squander, no matter how you look at it, we squandered an easy stretch of schedule, and that's going to make it all the more difficult to come back from. But hopefully in this Leagues Cup, whether we make a long run in this Leagues Cup or not, it's an opportunity to get the team more rounded into form. Obviously, we have a few absences and still some injuries. I don't expect Ivan Moreno to be available in Leagues Cup, and obviously Luciano Cabral, who's been a bright spot, don't expect him to be available. But I hope the rest of the team can kind of come together, round into form. Hopefully Jonder, our star in the making, continues scoring. And, at the very least, whether we make it out of the group even, we can use these matches to try to build a little bit more identity for the current state of the team, and then come back and Liga MX play and make a late season run. That is the ideal. Hopefully it happens. But I do understand the discontent. It's tough times right now.
Very tough times to be a Club León fan right now in Liga MX. A lot of people are saying that this Leagues Cup is basically another preseason, another pretemporada to kind of try to get things rolling, try to get some steam going. I don't know how much it's going to help. I mean, I think Timbers, I don't really follow MLS too much, but I think Timbers are doing pretty well from what I've heard. I don't know about Colorado too much. But, anytime Liga MX, as we just saw yesterday, anytime Liga MX plays MLS, it's always goes well for us. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll go well for us during these next 2 matches. But if we do advance in the League's Cup, do you guys have any idea who we play next? Who we would play?
Depending if you're first or second.
Oh, it depends on. Okay.
I don't know who I think it would most likely either be FC Dallas or St. Louis City, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
FC Dallas obviously would be. We're getting way ahead of ourselves here because we're not even sure we're going to get out of the group here.
Exactly.
But FC Dallas.
I think that's the question, guys. What if we don't make it out of the group?
Fuera Baba?
Well,
He's not gonna leave, right? Oh.
I don't know if he's gonna leave.
The worst part is about not getting out of the group is the layoff. Then you'd have at least 3 weeks with no competitive matches after starting your season. That's where the thing you were talking about, Carlos, about it being basically another pretemporada. I mean, it is if we get knocked out early, that's for sure. I mean, they're going to have to come back here, and then they're going to have to schedule some closed door friendlies with Leones Negros or somebody like that. But I mean, the Expansión is in their season too, so who are you even going to play? It's not like you could just play whoever you want.
Yeah.
So Unión de Curtidores, who thought they were going to return to Segunda División or Liga Primera for 5 minutes until it didn't happen. Yeah.
No, they bought La Franquicia de Monclova, which was in Serie B, which is I consider that 4th division, and it's pretty interesting. And I think that's where they're supposed to be for now. Where they're gonna play, who knows? I read a rumor que el Instituto Oviedo, where I used to work at. That really nice, but it's pretty small place. I like looking at también Quinta División and la Quinta División, which is I call it Quinta, but it's la Tercera División, right? But in the 10th group and the 12th group, there's a lot of the teams there from Guanajuato, and other places they could play is probably the como una cancha que está, I forget it, but it's by it's la Deportiva del Estado, like right by the center. That's where a team called Atlético Leones plays. They did pretty well in Tercera División, but again, I'm getting way ahead of myself. I'm just more happy that there's more teams in Guanajuato. That's exactly what needs to happen for León to be the team in 1st division, and then you have Irapuato, which is in 2nd. I mean, Celaya, which is in 2nd division, and you got Irapuato and Salamanca. You also got like another team from Celaya in that division, but it's all good. It's all good.
Celaya's going through some rough times. They lost the.
Oh yeah, you can't go there. Yeah, it's pretty.
They lost
pretty
the right to host the U20.
But León got it.
CONCACAF tournament because of it got moved.
But León got it.
I'm actually a little disappointed not to be there because if I would have wanted to go to some of those matches, but oh well.
When is the match? You could probably go back and forth.
No.
Rather give him Portland
back and forth, Javi.
Colorado. It's like in another.
I got a whole Leagues Cup itinerary up here.
I'm playing. It's not even worth it going. Not even worth going to León to see
no, just to your point, Carlos. I can't speak much to Colorado Rapids, although they've been better than expected this season. I can very clearly speak to Timbers. I follow them very, very closely. And our fears about this group are
Timbers is pretty good.
They're very legit. Timbers have been one of the most informed clubs the last 2 months on the continent. If we're being quite honest, they have a 3-pronged attack up front, featuring our old friend Cabecita Rodriguez, who I never thought I would root for.
You love.
Ever in my entire life.
You love him, huh?
It reminds me of when Sambuesa joined León.
Of course he loves
I hated that guy. I hated Ruben Sambuesa so much, and then he joined León, and then I loved him. Yeah. And Cabecitas, he's making me fall in love with him for his play with the Timbers. I gotta say, I mean, he's along with Tldp, another Liga MX alum, and Evander, our Brazilian wonderkind. Those 3 guys have made the attack extremely potent, and it's going to be a lot for León to deal with, to be quite honest, especially playing in Portland.
And also, like, I mean, I don't really follow MLS, but I do follow a little bit to the point, especially now that San Diego's going to have a team. So it's kind of like I have to kind of be more invested. But teams like Portland, for sure, man, it's not like they're good like one season and then, it's like, nah, they've just kind of made really good decisions in the last couple of years, man. And I think, Cabecita Rodriguez going up there was like one of those things where we know if it would have been like this player that exactly we hate, but if they would play for us, we would never hate them because we've kind of they're a player. They're gonna give you like 150%. They have garra, they have a lot of genialidad, and it's just kind of like like a Sambuesa. So yeah, that's something that I think Leon is still barely. I think we're seeing glimpses, but again, Cabral is not gonna play in the Leagues Cup, so that's really something that's kind of like. If you were going to bring Cabral maybe after Leagues Cup, I don't know. Like, what's the point of having like 2 pretemporadas pretty much? Because if Leon does get eliminated very early on, it would be like another pretemporada. They're going to have to like figure something out, like Louis said. But also I heard a rumor. I don't know where I heard it, but something that they were going to try para los equipos que ya están eliminados, if both of them are eliminated or something, they were going to try and play games a little earlier. It's going to be a big mess.
Yeah, because there's a lot of doble jornadas, because of the Leagues Cup. So obviously they're going to do what they tried to do last year, is adelantar unos partidos.
Adelantar unos partidos, right?
But you can't you can't adelantar some jornadas and then not others, because then the teams that go farther in the tournament are going to have a lot of doble jornadas later on.
Yeah,
and other teams are going to have their calendar a lot more spread out, which is a competitive advantage. So I doubt that we'll see too much of that, honestly, Javi. I mean, it would be nice, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Only way it could happen is like Jornada 5, 2 teams that are supposed to play in Jornada 5 are both eliminated. Like that's probably, I don't know, just they get their games out of the way.
That's what's going to happen. Like whoever teams are eliminated, if they have a game, maybe some of the doble jornada games, they're going to do it. I mean, at the end of the day, Liga MX decided to do this Leagues Cup. They decided to stop the league, and players are going to play a lot of games. I mean, ponle los que van eliminando, no tanto, pero como quiera. I mean, si pueden adelantar, why not?
Why? Because it's a competitive advantage. Because later on, when the league comes back,
it doesn't matter. They didn't think about this.
When the league comes back, the same teams are going to end up having a bunch of extra matches or lots of a much more compressed schedule.
That's why I said it's going to be a big mess. But who knows what's going to really happen? But
I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I mean, the eliminated teams. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, get them back playing as soon as possible. I'm just saying, I doubt that we'll see that. Be too much of that, because teams will complain about having a competitive advantage or disadvantage, I should say.
Yeah, but if you think like, a lot of Liga MX, maybe like a lot of, I don't know, 7 Liga MX teams are eliminated. No pasan de grupo. Well, they're not just gonna stall. They're gonna take advantage and
like a Santos León. Let's say they both get no pasan de su grupo. I mean, that could be one.
Hopefully that would be ideal. If we get eliminated early, that would be ideal. But
I mean, and it's a possibility, because it's going to be hard for Leon, the traveling, the not being.
I mean, already is hard enough on Liga MX teams, and then after you have you have FIFA window, and then you have all these other international stuff también, and obviously it's like
they play the MLS All-Star game and Liga MX All-Star game too. Like, it's just a bunch of.
They had Guardado back for that, MLS skills thing, which it's skills, but como quiera, I mean. Anyways,
you know what Guignac said about greetings to LA, good luck Leagues Cup.
So shout out to Edgar from LA Galaxy podcast that me and Louis did last year with Edgar, and I recently just spoke to Edgar in another podcast a couple of days ago. I said good luck in Leagues Cup, especially to Louis. He can't lose.
You say that, Edgar, but I also feel like I can't win.
It feels more like that. Like you can't win. It's a clásico del fiero viajero, so
I'll win.
It's a win-win.
I'll win if both clubs advance, Colorado's eliminated, and then these teams don't face each other again in the rest of the Leagues Cup. Then I'll feel like I win.
Yeah, but if they keep winning, they'll eventually face.
True. Don Piera said, any word on the cancellation of Buseli?
Yeah, I just read that it is officially canceled.
But they were looking at December, no? Around December time?
Yeah.
That's officially canceled.
But now some news came out today that instead of postponing it, they're officially canceled.
Is there a reason why?
I don't know. Hopefully we get more information on that later. But
are they
going to
refund people? Okay.
My guess is yes, they are refunding. The process of handing out refunds has already begun. My guess is they can't say for sure when they can reschedule it. So for now, they're just going to postpone. They're just going to say it's canceled, and then if they want to reschedule it, sometime in the future, they still can. But since they don't, like you can't be holding on to people's money like this without having an actual date for it.
Yeah.
And if you can't have the actual date, then you might as well just cancel it, refund, and then do it over again at a later time. That's my thinking.
It's probably not going to happen ever.
Or it could just possibly never happen ever. Yeah, that is also
That would
is
be
also possible.
sad.
Or yeah,
Um,
he might be sick or something. Who knows?
Nah.
Don
They're
Fiera
just-
also said
That's why he
we got
canceled
to
it.
miss
My theory is
Medina.
that they can't find enough people to play the damn game.
I thought they
I think it's
already
more of
had
that.
quite the list. Like,
Well, they
I mean,
had
they
it
have
for
a
when it was
few.
originally scheduled, but you know.
I mean, they got a handful, but they don't have, once contra once.
all you really need
Yeah,
is
who
just
knows?
11.
Maybe he's gonna come out of
and then
retirement. Who knows?
I mean, I remember watching Tribuneros, and Tito Echeverri was like, well, if they can find enough of his, friends to join, I don't think they're going to find enough friends, because I guess he kind of left on a bad note.
You
and not a
think?
lot of
You think
people
that would
liked him.
be that wouldn't be hard? Like he had Sebastián Verón, president of Estudiantes. He could be like, "Hey, I'm gonna send half of my team, whatever."
Nah.
He had like, I don't know. I don't think he. ¿Con quién quedó mal? Because he could bring like Gulli and whoever, like those guys, and Chapo Montes. I forget who. Like a lot of people from the El Ascenso were gonna be there. Elias. I think honestly, the one that I believe the most was that they didn't sold enough tickets.
Oh no,
And-
it was pretty
Right.
close to sold out.
That's the only one
No,
that
it
I
was-
heard as a rumor.
It was very
So-
very no, that's a lie. It was very very well sold.
No, I heard
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they sold a
Wonder what
lot.
happened
Yeah.
then.
So the only thing that I know is that he was sick, bro. That's as much as we know, that he was sick and it was
Well,
canceled.
yeah, that's why
because of that.
that's why it got postponed in the
Hospitalized.
first
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
why it
only
got
thing that I
postponed in
heard
the
as a
first place.
rumor was because they couldn't sold it. But the one you're saying, like, I don't think that's possible. Like, I think that's more of a reality than like it not selling out. But that's the only one that I heard from someone like trying to say, oh well, it's like 3 weeks from the event or something, or a month from the event or something, and still not even half or something. But again, a lot of people just write things, and I don't pay attention to it because, for instance, I wasn't going to go to the game, so I, for instance, wasn't paying attention to like any of it. I was still
But
in
you just-
denial. I'm still in denial he's going to retire. I still believe that right now they're going to be like that John Cena song, dun 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 dun, and back from retirement. It's Mauro Boselli to play the League's
Yeah,
Cup
I don't-
to
He
replace
should-
Cabral.
Honestly,
I'm still waiting for that, but
honestly,
I wouldn't
mean-
be going on FanDuel and betting on that, Javi.
I wouldn't be mad if we signed him to a quick 10-day contract
Why not?
for Leagues Cup.
because who's going to replace Cabral as a extranjero? We're just going to go in there with one less man, or
We have a 30-man roster I just sent you guys.
10-day
Some
contract
of the
for
people
Leagues
are going.
and that's his farewell.
Can they do that?
why not? It just
Well,
should be it's League's
I'm
Cup.
sure,
If he was
Carlos,
Messi, they'll do it.
Carlos, I'm sure people will speculate that the cancellation is because he isn't going to retire, or he's going to either sign with another team or with us. I'm sure there will be speculation about that.
That's a
Yeah.
more possibility than Javi's John Cena. Like,
What, he's coming back from Leon? No, that's what I said though, that he's gonna come back from retirement. I kept saying that, but what they should do in the perfect world is like what Carlos is trying to tell you guys. It's like a 10 freaking day contract where he goes, plays League's Cup, 2 games, and that's it. What's the worst that can
I
happen?
don't think
Like
they can't sign him to a 10-day contract, but they can sign him for the rest of the season.
if he was
for the
Messi, I bet
from-
he could have done that.
They could sign him in, up until the next transfer window, probably, if they wanted to. And I'm sure
And
people.
Mauro
I
Boselli is cool
guarantee
with
you.
Messi. Mauro Boselli
I
can talk to
guarantee you,
Messi.
people.
Messi can talk to El
people
Jeque de
speculate.
Qatar. Jeque de Qatar can talk to Camilla Harris. I don't know who's president anymore, so you can just like figure that out. I don't know.
I
Look,
guarantee there will be speculation.
yeah, but it is.
Um,
I didn't hear anything about it, but that's crazy that they canceled for sure the postponement to the retirement. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah,
All right,
they did.
we'll see what happens.
Well,
Arturo Ruiz says, saludos, Baba better play Jimenez for Leagues Cup.
yes.
That's what me and Carlos were talking about last week on, our hopes are like, maybe he'll throw in Oscar, and then that way kind of ease
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
to Leagues
Yeah.
Cup,
Kind of
but-
like, like back in the Copa MX days, we used to put in all the
Yeah.
juveniles and basically B-string players. Jimenez hasn't played in First Division Liga MX yet, so maybe he'll get a shot at Leagues Cup, and maybe he'll shine, and maybe he'll replace Poncho Blanco, who hasn't been the best goalkeeper so far this season.
Yeah, I would just say be careful what you wish for. There's no guarantee that Jimenez will be any better.
You think so?
Yeah.
Pero es como todo, puede dar un segundo aire and then he might,
No, but I think the idea is not that, let's say Jimenez is like, Louis is right, it's a 50-50 apuesta. But what you're trying to do is build a healthy competition. Where you're trying to be like, all right, Alfonso Blanco, we're going to give this guy a try. So Jimenez is going to be like, I need to be on my A game. And if he does it, then when Poncho Blanco gets that opportunity, he's going to be like, I need it. So that's what you're really trying to build. But of course, it could be a reality where he's way worse. The pressure gets to him. And what Louis said is true. Be careful what you wish for. Or he's going to rise to the occasion and he's going to prove that he finally needs to have his moment como un titular indiscutible en Primera División, sea League Cup or Primera División.
I thought Jimenez was younger. He's 35. Wow.
He's a little bit younger.
Yeah, I mean,
than Poncho.
He's not Poncho.
They're about the same.
But there's, that's still.
But I mean,
that's still up there.
There is something to be said for a guy who's been riding the pine and gets his opportunity. They usually shine in those situations. I remember when Cota was benched last season, his benching didn't last too long because Poncho then got injured. But when in that first game that Poncho played, filling in for Cota, he was very, very good because he was waiting for his chance. And now this time it was pretty much well known for a long time that once Cota left that he was going to be the starter from day one, and maybe he like relaxed a little bit.
Yeah.
And I doubt that Jimenez is in that situation. No, he's waiting for it and is wanting his chance. So there is, that would be the biggest argument in favor of putting him in. I'm fine if they do that. I'm just a little concerned it won't go the way we want it to. But
and I think
things haven't been going the way we wanted them to. But then here we are, like with a loss and 3 draws. And honestly, like I've said before, I don't have many expectations of Leon going into Leagues Cup this time. I just don't. Because it's just frustrating to watch, especially in the last attacking third. Obviously, yes, Cadiz, but Cadiz can't do everything.
Yeah, he can't do everything. That's true.
Viñas shouldn't have been able to do everything either, but he carried us a lot farther than anyone should have expected him to.
Yeah.
Yes, but he still had, Mena was still an aspect on the cancha. You know what I mean? And ahorita no hay nadie más así muy seguro. Cabral, the connection between Cabral and El Cadiz has been looking great, but Cabral se está quedando con la sub-23 for obvious reasons.
Cabral is not available, yes.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So yeah, like the expectations to really kind of llegar lejos, like it really would, let's be honest, it's just going to be a pretemporada. It is what it is, and we're going to try to come back against Santos, hopefully, whenever that game is played, con un equipo ya más completado, con un Cabral with more rhythm, because you're right, man. I don't. Portland looks really, really good, and going to Colorado, I'm not saying que la altura va a ser factor, but I'm not going to say it's going to be easy either. So they had a problem with Vancouver too, and I thought that was and this Leo doesn't seem better than last year, to be honest. So it's promising, but we're not going to have todos nuestros jugadores. So I'm not very optimistic, but we'll see what happens. We've got to take partido por partido. It's frustrating that Cabral can't be there, but it just feels like it's going to be a pretemporada until jornada 5 and etc. when all that continues.
Honestly, I think Cadiz just has to put this team on his back. Like if we're going to do anything in Leagues Cup, it's going to be Cadiz who's going to lead us.
You know what? And I feel like he wants to do that.
Yeah,
he has that attitude.
Doesn't he have that?
You can see it.
You can see it on the field.
Well, he's also looked very, very loose and very comfortable. It's not like he's struggling to find his spots or his moments. No, they're just coming to him because he's working himself in very, very well. And when you have a goal scorer like that, it changes your outlook considerably. So I think he can, especially in a knockout tournament like this. It's possible he could carry us farther than we expect to go. But we unfortunately that's basically what we have to count on. Unless some other guys take this opportunity to we didn't have the greatest start to our league season, but this is a fresh start. Everybody starts from zero, and we're going to go out and give it our best and try to be better than we've been. That's always a possibility.
I think the one guy that stands out to me, like the only other guy that I feel can give us like a small glimmer of hope, is Edgar Guerra. We know he has speed, agility, like ball control, but just his decision making has been horrendous. Like going back to last season, if he can just get that final touch in to Cádiz or to Plátano or to Edson Ayón, who's actually going to be out injured, if he can just get that final touch in, that final decision, like we could probably count on him to be a leader with Cádiz.
Which I'm a bit confused because I'm looking at the club master list for Leon, and Edson Ayón is listed on there, but isn't he supposed to be out for like a couple weeks?
Yeah, that's why I said
the list was probably submitted before his injury.
Yeah, that's why I said we need a 10-day contract for play the John Cena sound. Play the John Cena sound.
Dun 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 dun. Back from retirement. We have El Matador, and then he just comes out. It's like one of those things. That should work for Leon. Give him ideas and like, no. Let me work with the graphic design team too. They do an amazing job though. I just think I would make it more silly.
So Arturo Ruiz said, "Is Mendoza going to be available for Leagues Cup?" I heard of stuff that he was, and maybe you're right. Like maybe this list was submitted before because I don't see him on this updated list. But I think they were having trouble kind of registering him, or there was something going on.
He traveled with the team. They're hoping. We're talking about Mendoza now. He traveled with the team. He is hoping to get his registro ready to go at some point before we're done playing in Leagues Cup. If not, he'll come back to Leon and also play with the Sub-23 to get some reps.
Yeah. Edgar said there's another Cabral waiting in Colorado.
They have a guy named Cabral.
They do.
I don't know. They do?
He's not good,
yes.
Right? He's not good, right?
Yeah, Kevin Cabral, former Edgar mentions him because he used to play for Galaxy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Of course
Was it the Galaxy that we beat last Leagues Cup where like we were horrible but like we still beat them?
No, I think Cabral was already with Colorado at that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, see, last Leagues Cup
said,
yeah, dude.
I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, and Prairie Leon ends up in first in its group, and Seattle second on their group, or vice versa. So they will face each other here. We need Louis to come to St.
Louis. St. Louis.
I mean, I would make every effort to do so. I still have I left a few days open after that game in Colorado to see where I might end up after that before having to head back to Mexico. So hopefully that does happen. It's been a long time since I've been to St. Louis, and I would love to see that new stadium. So yeah, hopefully that does happen.
And then Arturo Ruiz said, we got Avion back. Hopefully he can pick up some good minutes. That was the good news that I saw.
That is a good point. That is a good.
He's back.
Good addition.
I was completely unaware.
He'd be better than anything we've been trotting out at right back so far.
Yes.
They've tried Guerra there, but he really is not a wing back. He's just a full on winger. Yeah. And he's not one of those Yairo types who can flourish playing out of position.
Yeah, maybe with Avion back now we can go back to playing 4-4-3. 4-4-2, I'm sorry.
That could be a sneaky good quote unquote refuerzo.
Yeah.
That's a sneaky good addition.
Ojo con Avion. Last time he came back, he was a little overweight.
Yeah.
He's a little fluffy.
He looked pretty fit.
He got pretty fit. Yeah, he got pretty fit. So let's hope he kept his weight down.
I know like for like Sebastián Santos is also coming out from elección, but I don't know who else is lesionado.
He's back.
He could be a great addition too.
Well, so Ivan Moreno is staying back right now because I think he's gonna have a baby soon. So I don't know after that when he'll go back or not, depending on I guess when his girlfriend/wife gives birth. So even though he's back, we won't have him.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Right.
So that's that. But yeah, Edgar said Edgar Cabral has gotten much better this year. Don't sleep on him.
We'll see.
We shall see.
Carlos, don't
Um,
anger the gods.
Adonis and Fidel got that on lock.
Speaking of real quick, I think
Mhm.
Blanco might just have to be starting because I feel like they didn't show a list of los capitanes and Blanco's type to definitely capitan junto con Guardado and Adonis. Those are the three capitanes. And
Yeah.
I've got Fidel, that's another one. But again, yo escuché que lo de Fidel es para que la imagen, it's to kind of keep building him up and kind of just, he has to really
He's
shine.
been
and show up.
Por la trayectoria.
he's been underwhelming this season, to say the least.
Yeah,
He has.
they gotta do something. He's gotta.
I mean,
I feel like they want to sell him.
He's just not leaving.
he's been better than other players on the field, but he hasn't
he's
been
not,
amazing.
He's not leaving his mark on the matches the way that he's capable of. I would say.
No,
Yeah,
but I mean,
look who he's playing alongside Medina. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you give him. Who did he play against, or who did he play alongside in the Conca Champions? It was Perro Romero. Like, you have Perro Romero, and then you substitute him for Medina, and
I
like,
miss him too.
dude, like that's like the biggest downgrade ever.
Absolutely.
Low key top 3 mejores contenciones que han llegado de la era de Grupo Pachuca.
Yeah.
Perro.
Come back. He
Gallito
needs to
also
come
had
back.
that unlock.
Yeah, a solid five is always going to make a player like Fidel shine. Like a very solid 5, and we don't have that solid 5 right
He's a player I wouldn't mind him coming back. There's a couple of players like pero again, por ser extranjero is just you have to be very strategic nowadays.
Yeah.
Lo que sí me da hope is because I feel like this season the players that are underage have to kind of playing them and stuff. I think we got that also under control. Tigres is not. I was looking at the numbers and it's like they don't really care, but. That's just the reality that this league is always changing. So one year you're gonna have like 10 extranjeros, and they're no, that's too much, 4, and then like we need more entertainment. So in 2030 it's gonna be like 10 again or whatever, and then the whole they switch it up a lot. So right now
this season's what 6, 7,
8, no,
8,
8, 9 or something. La regla 8, 9. Do you know, Louis?
What? What was it? What
La
was
regla de
the
extranjeros.
Oh, I think currently
Is it
it's at you can have 9 on the roster, but and 7 in the lineup.
7 in the
lineup at any given time. I think that is the rule now.
Yeah,
I thought it was 8, 9, but 7, 9. That's interesting. Yeah, and something that changes. That's what I'm trying to say. So, it just. Again, these players, sometimes you have to be very strategic, and if you're going to ever bring them back or who you're going to bring, whatever, it's just kind of like the way it's being played right now. Aquino, Perro, extranjeros, and of la época de Grupo Pachuca, those 2 and Gallito Vázquez.
Yeah.
Arturo Ruiz Fidel shouldn't be a captain, no tiene carácter. But then
and apparently that rubbed people the wrong way, apparently.
I mean, it's a good challenge for him, I think. You know what I mean? Like, he's been with the club. Cuando debutó a los 16? Like, he's 22, 21. I think it's a 21. Good time to give him that like, that responsibility and try to, if he does leave León, which there have been rumors of certain Liga MX teams coming and asking for him. When he does leave, se va capitán, se va bien vendido, Like, you don't want to sell someone who's never had that rank as of capitán. You want to sell him as best as you can.
Well, it looks good on his resume.
I don't think he'll go to another Liga MX club, at least not for this. Whatever his next move is, I don't think it will be to another Liga MX club. I think he had the opportunity to, and all offers were turned down. I think he'll go to Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we all
and
hope.
As far as who should be the captain, well, I think in a perfect world with this particular squad, it should be Guardado. But the dude hasn't been healthy. And even when he has been healthy, he hasn't really been what we thought he was going to be.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it should be Adonis.
Adonis. Adonis.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to. Yeah, so
it goes back to the Conca Champions on his leg.
Yeah, dude, that's the capitán, bro. Like, come on,
that's a player. Like,
I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, dude, that's our captain, bro. Like, he has that whole vibe.
Yeah.
Si
Tiene
lo quiere
carácter.
Boca, pero
And he's like
No.
25, isn't he? So like
Yeah, he's pretty young.
he's still young.
And I mean, and he's one of the few still remaining on the current roster who you have complete faith in that he's gonna do a good job every time he goes out.
Yeah.
el Ronald de Copa.
Because
Definitely.
this roster has really been put through the ringer. It looks very little like it did in that Conca Champions, and he's one of the few remaining, and he's one of the few you still trust.
I trust Ronald.
Definitely. So guys, any more? I just wanted to get a bit of y'all's takes on this. So I went on the other podcast a couple days ago, and they were talking about MLS and their supporter boycotts for the Leagues Cup because obviously
what podcast?
it's solid.
What
I'll
podcast?
send it.
What's
I'll
happening
send
here?
it to you. But basically, it was a podcast about Leagues Cup. So I was on with Eddie Rayals, I was on with Edgar, Atlanta United, and I did the Miami. And they, obviously me, Liga MX, I'm not like Louis I don't have MLS side. But I come to find out that there's a lot of MLS support groups that are boycotting Leagues Cup in solidarity for the US Open Cup because not all teams made it and all that stuff. So I guess my take is like, what do you guys think? Obviously, I think.
Can I really say what I think about that?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I think they're right. I think get rid of the Leagues Cup. I hate it. I don't like it. Bring back La Copa MX. Bring it back. I'd rather have that. I rather just. I don't care if it's all about the money. It's ridiculous. I don't think it's and go back to Copa Libertadores and then in Sudamericana. And let MLS do their thing with and then if you want to do something, I tienen la Conca Champions para eso. And if you want to keep doing something, I tienen la Campeones Cup, which was, I think, as good as it was gonna get. The Campeón de la MLS. You don't gotta do it's for money, and it's not gonna go away though. That's the thing. Once San Diego comes in, that's 30, and then you got 18, that's 48, and then you got your groups right there for that's your 48 tu mundial que quieren cada año. And it's all about the money. But I think they're right. I think they should keep boycotting. And I think they should get back the US Open Cup, whatever. That has way more, doesn't matter like if it's taken seriously or not. I just don't like how también la Copa MX ya no existe. And I think that was a good way to what Carlos was saying when at times it was played como en doble jornadas. And that was a perfect way to like, if you got Blanco playing in La Liga, you can have Jimenez playing in La Copa. And as you get minutes, you get, los juveniles are getting minutes. It was way better like that. I think playing Copa Libertadores and Sudamericana is way better in términos de roce internacional. And now add to the fact that you're making a lot of money now in Copa Libertadores. That wasn't the case in 2018. Since 2021, you make a lot of money in Libertadores as well. So when they're trying to defend like, oh, the League's Cup, because, you need to make money, like, look, and if you're going to make a League's Cup, make it shorter. Que nomás vayan los mejores 8 de la Liga MX y los mejores, they make it way shorter, but it's never going to happen. And there's a lot of el ascenso is never going to happen.
Look, as the only one here who follows closely both leagues, I have some thoughts on this. But, I mean, in summary, my main thought on this is you can have it all. You just have to
you
plan it better.
can't.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Look how
what we're not thinking is how much players play over the whole year with not just their domestics, all these other extra tournaments and stuff like that. Like, hasta donde vamos a llegar for these players to like have to play all these games and all these tournaments?
You can't have it all the way it's currently constructed. They're going to have to make some adjustments, and probably some pretty hefty adjustments. But I think there is a way where you can have the Leagues Cup and the US Open Cup where teams are still motivated to send their best squads.
But what about
us?
Open Cup? There
is a way, though.
I think we can have Copa MX. You just can't have. I mean, the thing that's making it so difficult is that a fuerzas, every Liga MX team and every MLS club has to be involved in Leagues Cup. They're going to have to make that. They're going to have to change that. They're going to have to and they're going to have to. They're not. I mean, there's going to have to be a qualification process. I understand for these first couple of years, to draw up interest in the thing, they want every club involved. At some point, I think they can do away with that.
And Louis, another way they could do it if it's a whole year, if they don't have to stop the whole Liga and MLS, they could just do like a whole year or like it can for MLS teams, it could really end once the US Cup ends. It could start in the summer. Really, it could, and it could just go all the way to probably December or something. But it doesn't really have to be like you stop. It could be like where it could be ida y vuelta. Like that's another thing. That to me seems to be during the League's Cup. Ida y vuelta. You go to Mexico and then you play one in the US, but you don't stop the league. You know, you play como entre semana. You know, and your league continues and their league continues. It'll just replace La Copa MX for Mexico.
That's basically what Guignac said a few days ago. It was like it doesn't make sense to stop our league, right? Our activity to come and play this tournament. Like it doesn't make sense. And he said he literally called out and said U.S. teams should play in Mexico too, right? It should be ida y vuelta, and at least Libertadores was like that. You know what I mean? Like that was the fun stuff about Libertadores.
And you know, the Liga MX should return eventually to Libertadores, but only like maybe maximum 3 Liga MX clubs per Libertadores would be participating. You know, so that's not going to be something that affects the entire league. I do agree that the future of the Leagues Cup, if they're going to keep doing it, the future of it is to, first of all, maybe no group stage, just a knockout from the beginning, but an ida y vuelta. You know, you have you're assigned an opponent, and you have an ida y vuelta with them, and it just, you know, it's a midweek match over the course of an entire season. I mean, I think there's ways. I'm saying you're absolutely right, Gotti. The way it's constructed now, you can't have it all. But there are ways that they can change it. There are adjustments they can make where we can at least start having that discussion about, well, maybe we don't have to get rid of anything. We just have to do it differently.
Yeah.
I do think, as a fan of both leagues, having all of these teams in such close proximity relatively, it's a waste not to have them playing each other more frequently, which is where the Leagues Cup comes in. You know, they want to have a way for these teams to maintain their individual domestic leagues, but also to have a way to face off against each other more frequently than just a few teams every year in the Conca Champions, because that's not enough. I mean, it's a waste not to have these teams. I mean, it's, you know, especially as MLS gets better, and Liga MX, you know, there's a lot more intercambio of players. Not just, it used to be, you know, players coming from Liga MX to MLS. Now there's a lot of MLS players going to Liga MX too. There's these teams they're having a lot of intercambio of jugadores. I mean, there's obviously fans of their local MLS, you know, players, people who support a Liga MX club, but live in an MLS city. So they, you know, like me, they have that split allegiance. You know, it's a missed opportunity if they don't give these teams an opportunity to square off against each other. Whether they're doing it the right way now, you know, that's where the debate lies. I think there are ways they can improve upon it and do it better. You know, we'll see. You know, we'll revisit this again in 5 years and see what they've come up with or what has changed. Because, I mean, I don't think there's a world in which they decide, okay, we've come up with this way that Liga MX and MLS clubs are playing against each other, but it's not working, so we're just going to completely scrap it. No, I think if anything, they're looking for ways to even expand upon what they already have.
Yeah, so, exactly. I think both leagues benefit off each other because MLS doesn't have the viewership that Liga MX has. So if MLS has anything to gain from this, it's all of the eyes, right? The audience. And what Liga MX has to gain is obviously the dollars, you know, los dólares. You don't have to charge, you know, 300 pesos Estadio León. You can make 10 times that by coming to play in Portland in a Leagues Cup in one match, right?
It's 500 pesos, okay, Carlos.
Hey, no, they lowered it to 300, I think, this past weekend against Necaxa, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
That was the most expensive. That was the most expensive. It was 100, 200, 300. Yeah.
So I don't think it's going anywhere, but I do agree that there should be some kind of like restructuring of the schedules where like you don't have to pause the Liga MX for a whole month, and then you're stranded for 3 weeks if you don't make it out of the group stage. But I don't think it's going anywhere. And I mean, I think Louis is right. Like they are looking for more ways to expand what's currently happening with Liga MX and MLS playing each other so much that there was talk about, I don't know if you guys heard the Clásico Nacional being played in the U.S. this season, Chivas America. I don't know if it's still happening or not. I think it was a rumor that I saw on Twitter.
I did hear
Yeah, I
that as
don't.
well.
But
I
like,
don't.
it kind of makes sense that like, okay, Liga MX maybe wants to export some of their more popular games over to the US, kind of like the
Yeah,
NBA.
Kind of like what
mean,
they do
it's-
in NFL, you know, they
NFL,
have
right?
games,
Yeah.
NFL
Olympics.
plays,
I'd rather see
MLB.
that than at least Cup. Just do that.
or in baseball, they open the season in South Korea or in Japan or
Exactly.
something like that, and but they're regular season games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, I heard the Clásico Nacional was happening like that this season. I have no idea.
I think it was like October or something. No,
And
I did
here's
hear that too.
Then here's a debate. Like that's gonna be for me. I live in the U.S. I'm all for that because if Leon can play a game like that one day, Allegiant Stadium against I don't know who, but whatever, you know, like I would go to that.
But that's the thing, though, right? Because this is what I'm saying. Like, even though there's a percentage of people who do not like this League's Cup, right? For their perspective, if there's a game around their hometown, in their state, and it's their team, or it's flight away or whatever, they're going to make that trip and they're going to spend that money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess my thing is like, obviously.
No, but again, originally the League's Cup, why it's being like, for instance, you said that why it's being like protested is because it eliminated cups for the American teams. MLS seems like the U.S. Cup, right? And they don't like the U.S. Open Cup, right? So I guess that's the thing. It's a great idea. It's just it has to be planned a little better. Where, and again, I agree with it shouldn't be all the teams. Like it should be like it should be like, for instance,
then it should be just like
CCL
because we're already facing MLS teams in CCL, and now we have to face them in League's Cup. So it's like this double meeting them and having a schedule stop. I mean, think about it this year, like all this stuff that has been going on in football. It's still like, maybe the players that went on to play Copa America, coming back straight into Liga MX and then pause and then League's Cup and then back into Liga MX. And then if they have to go to FIFA, their respective international games and then Club World Cups next year. So it's like, when is it like too much?
Yeah.
When is it too much?
I mean,
we can have it. I feel like
logistically,
because for us, we can watch all day, every day, whatever. The more football, the better. But también es que empezar los jugadores. They're kind of like, what? I haven't taken a break.
Right.
Like I haven't taken a break for 2-3 weeks. Like
no, you're absolutely right. As currently constructed, it's not feasible.
They can even do it like this, Louis, like 64 teams, and then like ida y vuelta. Like you can go further if you want to expand and go. But
64 teams.
I mean, if they want to go further and expand, if like my ideology is 32, but if they're gonna keep going further, I'm like, all right, but here's the thing. You see it like that, pero sería como dos jornadas. But it'll be a whole year. You don't stop ni la Liga MX ni la, but it can be shorter. I'm just saying I would rather to be just 16, the best 16. But if they're gonna keep on going right now, how many teams is it right now? It's 48. Kari, it's 48 teams. Jeez. So if they're gonna keep on expanding, this guy just said that they might even go to a Liga de Expansión. They can even add Liga de Expansión. If they're to even do that, and if there were to be more MLS teams, it would be more than 48. So yeah, 64 teams, and they wouldn't even do it the way like it's going to be constructed now, where it stops. It would be like the way I'm trying to say, like it'll be like se enfrentan todos de como cuartos de final, octavos, whatever. But you don't stop the league. You can just play the semana. You can have that.
They don't draw the groups. They hand pick and choose.
That's what I don't like. You're right.
They like, oh, you know what? Let's put a Inter de Miami with Tigres and with Puebla. There'll be a really good sold out match with Tigres, and then they'll give them a Puebla to face with. Oh, like a Galaxy versus Chivas. Oh, it was the Chicharito aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just
or los Regios con Dallas.
It's not like the World Cup where they handpick and be like, you're in this team, this group. No, they selectively choose this to their own.
It should be shorter though,
and that's not fair.
I mean, all of these.
Like you're talking about Messi, right? Isn't that what and that's kind of true. The Miami kind of gets. No, but that's true. I agree with you.
No, but
Miami had a very easy. I think, in my opinion,
all of these tournaments can exist within the same ecosystem. They just can't involve every single. They all can't involve every single team. There needs to be a tier, a hierarchy system. Okay, the Conca Champions is the maximum. Then after that, that's your Champions League. Then you have the Leagues Cup, which should be like the Europa League, whatever. And then after that, you have your domestic cups. I know we can't really compare ourselves to Europe because it's just a completely different situation. But over there, I mean, you have the Champions League, you have the Europa League, and then every domestic league also has its League Cup and its domestic cup, sometimes more than one. And so the point is, every single team in Liga MX and MLS should have the opportunity to be playing in at least one cup tournament that is not, aside from their domestic league season. I think every team should have the opportunity, but they don't all have to be in all of them. That is not feasible.
Yeah.
Like for example, if you're in the CCL, you should not be in the Leagues Cup. That's first of all. And if you're in the Leagues Cup, maybe the Mexican teams that don't make the Leagues Cup, they play Copa MX. And, and same for US Open Cup, the MLS clubs that don't make the cut.
No, they should bring Copa MX back. Period. Just fix how they did it.
They bring
and we
it
need
back,
to have them because all we have is just Liga MX and all these other tournaments with MLS. That I do not like. People can, at the end of the day, like up in the suits, that's what they decide. I just don't like it, and I think it's ridiculous that all we have to do is play Liga MX and do all the other tournaments with MLS. It's like we are destroying our own. And I know you could care two cents, Louis, because obviously I'm thinking about my own country's football, right? Just as you're thinking as, your US and MLS and all that stuff. I'm thinking about the wider picture, which is we do not have enough Mexicans. We do not have enough Mexicans for the Selección Mexicana, which I know you don't care. You made that clear. But to me, it's like we only have Liga MX to depend on our players.
Yeah.
And all these little tournaments that if they play 2 games, they're out, and then se quedan sin jugar 3 semanas, right? And it's like, well, why can't there be, bring back another, well, maybe they want to rebrand it, maybe something else, but Liga MX needs to have another domestic tournament. Bring it back, do something, because we're falling short.
But even when Copa MX existed before, it didn't involve every team.
But maybe it needs to now, because maybe, like you said, like maybe CCL could be selective as much as Leagues Cup, but everybody needs to do Copa MX. Everybody needs to do Copa MX because that's the only way our youth is going to push out.
Copa MX can be simpler too.
In my opinion, lifting a Copa MX title means a lot more than lifting a Leagues Cup title.
But León tiene 5 Copas MX. Like, it's not just any other title.
Yeah,
I've seen cups that used to be come and go.
Used to have bragging rights.
Yeah,
I mean the first final I attended in person for León was a Copa MX final. I'm still pissed about it.
Chivas? I hated that one. I took one of my best friends.
Game.
I thought we were
No. That wasn't my first game. That was my first final.
Oh.
First final. Okay.
The first final that I saw in person.
Who is that coach?
León tore up the Copa MX that season, and they hosted all the knockout games. And they made it all, and they hosted the final, and I'm still, we're not talking about that. I'm still pissed about it. Yeah.
I mean, I think there's ways, dude. There's 18 teams. You can probably, I think right now La Liga de Expansión is like a never ending. Like Cimarrones was trying to sell their franquicia to Jaguares. And
they rejected Jaguares to come back. I was so pissed.
So they have to be in Serie A. But, I mean, this
Liga de Premier.
Yeah, it's the one where Irapuato's at and Salamanca. So, Expansión, one day, one team is going to be there and then they're going to get caught doing that because now Cimarrones is like on suspension or something. Or I think they have another team in Premier or whatever, but they have 15. So 15 plus 18 is, 33. Just at 14 para arriba con los 18, that's your Copa MX. And it will just be knockout stages, 32, and then así, ida y vuelta. And it'll be a good way to see a lot of jóvenes and a lot of players that just have to get rhythm. But I agree. I am looking out for de que ya no hay materia prima, ya no hay jugadores. Players like, I think, the players that they found like a Belon, would probably shine if he was in UDG and then, players like that. That's why I don't mind the Copa Guanajuato that they made. I'm like, that's good, man. They should actually go deeper in that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm thinking more about that. Like how can you make that into something even better? Like try to get all the best teams that you have in Guanajuato. Make a little mini one. Make it a sub-21 or sub-23 league. Copa 2. Like, because I feel like if it would be like León con sus extranjeros contra Irapuato. As much as I want to see like a 10-0 against Irapuato, I'd rather see como juveniles de Irapuato, juveniles de León, playing against each other to that rivalry, which is natural between them and people with Celaya and Salamanca. I'd rather have a Copa Guanajuato Sub-23 every year at least, so they can. And now that Unión de Curtidores is coming back, that's another thing you can add to that Copa. I don't know. I'm looking at that because I feel like, all right, I can't think about all. I'm gonna think about León and what's best for León. So I want to see más Guanajuatenses, más Leoneses just kind of shining. La Esmeralda, the good producer of players right now, and you can easily go to these they can go to Unión de Curtidores. I don't know the whole history, who's gonna be behind that team, but there's a lot. I mean, I'd be like, hey, bring back San Sebastián now. Bring back San Sebastián, which was the first segundo equipo que estaba en Primera División después de León. That was el primer derby de León, fue el San Sebastián contra León from 1945 to 1951, I think, or two, when they descendieron. Pero San Sebastián, bring it back and que sea un equipo que juegue con puros leoneses.
They're probably not going to, though.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I know they're not going to. It's probably not going to happen. But you know what? I was saying things like, ojalá un día León regrese a Primera División y que los compre el Pachuca, and they bought them. And I also said, ojalá algún día San Diego has an MLS team, and look, we have an MLS team, and that the Clippers were going to get closer to San Diego, and boom, they got their B team right here in Oceanside. And it's just
now you have to become a Chucky Lozano stan.
I am a Chucky Lozano stan, though. I didn't like the Navarrete situation. I'll tell you there. I hated him, but if he was playing for León, we would love him. And now that he's playing for San Diego, I am not going to hate on him. And I think he's a player that can give Mexico a lot still. Que no haya ido a la Copa America, to me, is, I don't know, but we'll see what happens, and we'll see what San Diego could provide, because they got money for sure. And I'm just interested to see how they're going to try to fix it. I don't think they're going to be competitive, not in a couple of years, I think maybe. But I think the optimistic of the people here is pretty big, because I think San Diego, in their heart, is a soccer city. But we just don't have soccer teams here. But I just feel like MLS is doing the right thing for their league, and México nomás le está siguiendo la corriente, because we have directivos now más que nunca que saben más de negocios y menos de fútbol, and that's why we're in the situation that we are in right now. And I think it's good for el negocio for sure. I'm not going to complain. I think it's good for the MLS big time to have a lot of Mexicans going and filling up in the rivalry, and it's good. But again, if fuera ida y vuelta, I would be more happy, because I feel it'll be more fair. Mm-hmm. It just feels more fair, and it just feels more. I don't know. And again, I just don't like it stops. But no, I'm talking about, like, for instance, for León, and if we were talking about Mexico, la Copa MX, now what's best for León? What's best for León is que tenga enfrentamientos con Irapuato y Unión de Curtidores once a year, even if it's like sub-23, like they have right now. They don't, just to kind of see los juveniles que se están enfrentando, and then see, look at that kid, he played really well under pressure. Estadio lleno en el León, se va a llenar el León Irapuato. You look at Ayon. Yeah. Ayon kind of became a mini leyenda when he kind of did his thing for la Copa Guanajuato. Still, you get to shine a little bit and get to see jóvenes mexicanos, again, leoneses, de Irapuato, celayenses, whatever, and then maybe León could be like, because León is like the godfather in that region. They could be like, ese jugador de Irapuato is really good, I'm gonna bring him. Kind of like that, kind of start. That's what I'm saying for León, just the micro. Now the macro will be the Copa MX and what's best for the Liga Mexicana. And the bigger picture would be, yes, I do love the fact that the closeness of these cities, that is true. Like, there's not that much from Houston to Monterrey. So I would like to see these cup, but the way that it stops the Liga and the MLS, and I think Louis is right. You can probably, the way, if you're smart enough, you can find a way for it all to fit. Copa MX, Leagues Cup, you can have your US Open Cup, whatever. But I agree. I think el que tiene más prestigio es la Copa MX. And León has 5. And I've always been muy enojado que América, since we've been doing the podcast, rebasó a León con mayoría. Because when León came back to first division.
And I'm still pissed about that final.
Yeah, because it would have had 6, Louis. And Chivas, too.
Hey,
I hate Chivas.
I love me.
That's true.
I love me some Copa. Don't get me wrong. I loved me some Copa MX when it was around. I saw León play in Celaya. Where else did I see them? I saw them play in Zacatecas.
Yeah,
I saw them
that's what I'm
play
saying.
in some weird places. I saw them play Cruz Azul in Azteca in Copa MX with like 5,000 people in the stands. Yeah, that was. I loved me some Copa MX back in the day. I
Yeah.
would be very, very happy to see it return.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't we play
Um,
Dorados too?
we
Like
did. We did. Well, we
Dorados,
played Dorados. We played Dorados in Liga
Cimarrones.
MX. They were in Primera for like a couple of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Javi, I'm just waiting for Leon to play Cholos in Tijuana and Timbers to play San Diego FC in San Diego in the same weekend. I'm hoping for that to happen in the same weekend at some point.
And then we'll just have to be there.
So tomorrow there's a couple of games: Atlanta United in DC, Orlando versus Montreal, Pumas versus Austin, Seattle Sounders versus Minnesota, and LAFC versus Tijuana. Obviously, the Leon game will be on Sunday, where Carlos and Louis will be in attendance. So anybody going out to the game, if you guys want to hang out with them outside.
Arturo
Fine
Ruiz
beer.
said he was coming. Arturo said.
Oh, yeah?
Arturo said he was coming. So like, my boy, if you in the chat, let us
Arturo
know, like,
Ruiz?
Arturo Ruiz. When are you gonna
Who
get
just
here?
wrote Era
Let us
Mano de
know
Copas?
where you're gonna be at. We can go out get a drink with Fiero Viajero and Paquito Vela. Shout outs to Paquito Vela.
Where's he from? Where's Arturo Ruiz from?
He's living in Idaho, no?
Idaho, remember?
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, so I know why I'm
pilgrimage,
familiar with him
bro,
because
and
when I
you
was living in
couldn't.
Utah, I feel like we were supposed to link up. I think.
Well,
That's true.
Now you're remembering.
I got a bad memory.
I met
right
up
now.
with him. I met up with him in the stadium in Salt Lake City
That's what it
last
was,
year at the.
Oh, and I was gonna go, and then I didn't
when
go
they
because I
own-
got stuck in San Diego. Oh, that's true.
when they played RSL in the knockout phase. Yeah, we did meet up.
Yeah.
I should have
We
been
said
there.
I'm pulling up.
I'm
Yeah.
pulling up. He's pulling up. All right.
Well, y'all make sure to take a picture so we stamp
We
it.
will.
Buy Louis a beer.
Well, regardless,
I always buy the
Carlos and
beer.
I are gonna have to make a pregame video.
Yeah.
You know where?
Yeah.
You know where you're? Where are you gonna be in the stadium? Do you know?
Let me check my ticket right here.
Did you get like front row tickets, Louis?
No. I
Does
don't like sitting in the
Timbers
front row.
to Portland?
I'm gonna
do
be
they know-
section 119.
Oh, I think we're gonna be pretty.
I'm gonna be behind our bench.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
like
we're
right
gonna be
behind
pretty-
them?
Behind our
We're gonna be
bench,
pretty
but
close
like
by then.
in the middle. I couldn't.
Well,
I didn't want to buy the front row because it was way too
Yeah, yeah.
expensive. I was
way
like,
too
I'm not
close.
paying- I'm
Yeah.
not paying.
No,
But
no,
you know
no,
what you got to
I
do,
think
Carlos? You
we're
got
gonna
to
be
start
close by.
shooting como cosas
We're gonna be close
motivantes.
by, Carlos. I might also be. I can't remember, but we're gonna be close by.
All right, sounds good.
Do your job, Carlos. You're close enough. They can hear you. Give them affirmations. Tell them you love them.
Baba, fuera.
No. Just give them a hug. Give them a quick
Pass
hug.
the camera and you're like the one shouting.
Just give them a hug. And if we lose, then say fuera, Baba. But no, not first. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Say vamos, Baba, and then
I brought my jersey too. Damn, I should have worn it.
How come you weren't? Dude, you gotta share it, man. You gotta represent.
I
Kari
can-
is
I can
good
go
because
get it. I
she's
can go
gotta
get
look
it.
cool.
Okay,
you
guys,
have to know
let's go
too.
to prediction time so we can go ahead and get out of here. Let's go.
Prediction time.
All right,
Ah,
first
it makes me
matchup: Leon versus Portland. Javi, will you do the honors and give us your first prediction
Here we go.
for League
Look at
Cup?
that. Let's go.
Um,
I'll be wearing that. I'll be wearing that on Sunday.
I honestly, I just think it's gonna be a tie. I want to win, but I recognize Portland. We're gonna tie 2-2. That's good enough. We can be Colorado, but that's my realistic. Really, like, I think it's gonna be a tie. 2-2.
Okay. 2-2. Louis, who's half and half.
Yeah, I've never picked a draw in my life, but if there ever a time to do it for the first time,
No.
Yes, dude.
Remember,
I should have
folks.
said you cannot say a draw.
Remember, folks. In League's Cup, all draws go to penalties, and the winner of the shootout gets an extra point.
Oh,
If you're
That's
saying
right.
draw,
I forgot
And
about
if you're
that.
saying draw, you also have to pick who's going to win the penalty shootout, because the winner of the penalty shootout gets an extra point. As you'll recall, last year in Vancouver, we played had like a 30-round penalty shootout that we finally won, and got the
so if
extra
you're saying
point.
draw, who are
So
you picking?
I'll say draw, and Leon wins the penalty shootout.
That's a good.
Damn. All right, let's
Okay.
Mucho
go.
Blanco.
What about your parents? Are they more to one side or?
No, they're just as half and half as I am.
Are they going to be wearing Leon jerseys?
I don't know what they're going to be wearing. I'll have to. We'll have to figure that out.
Okay.
Poncho
Sounds
Blanco
good.
tiró. He was the right. El portero de la tanda de penales con Celaya, right? He was the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, he might get some experience from that Copa Guanajuato. It's like, should have done better. And now, if it's a tie, because I say 2-2 as well. And I think que va a ganar León si se van a penales because Blanco's going to be like, because of that game against Celaya. And that's why. So more, como points to me about Copa Guanajuato being also a good Copa. Well, Carlos?
So you both are saying draws, and then Leon wins.
Penalties.
Chat. Anybody in the chat still listening? Give us your prediction. Carlos,
Because of Poncho Blanco.
are you also gonna say a draw, or are you gonna lean one?
Nah.
Ay, Carlos.
Enough
5-0.
with this draw stuff, man. We're gonna win.
Come on, man.
We're gonna win.
Hey, I
I mean, yeah.
Are
They're
we
gonna be at
finally gonna
home.
win, Carlos?
We're finally gonna
win.
win. It's gonna be our first win of
Epic
this.
win,
Of this Liga MX and Leagues Cup
accident win or
schedule.
Polemical.
Yeah, I think we'll get a win. I hope we get a win. We haven't really been playing our best, obviously. We all know that, but it's a fresh start. It's a new tournament, and I mean, Cadiz right now is on fire. Maybe he'll get one in.
Dude.
Cabecita siempre nos vacuna. He'll get one in too, and I think Fidel is going to come up with the game winner.
Fidel Ambriz?
From distance?
Chilena de media cancha.
Nah.
Come on, you just gotta do it, man. You want him to come in clutch.
Corner kick. Corner kick.
But look, Carlos.
He's one of the taller ones, so
Yeah.
he'll get it. Yeah, he'll get it in there on the corner.
So you know what you got to do then, right, Carlos? If you're going to be
88th
right behind the
minute.
players, you got to motivate them, especially Cadiz y Fidel. Fidel, tú puedes. Eres una bestia. Así como Matosas le decía.
Look, I don't like booing
Come
at
on, bro.
players. If they start booing at Medina, you got to be the supportive one because no one else
Yeah.
gonna support him.
You run into that cancha, you hug them, and they boo him. You do it for Leon, bro. Anything for Leon.
Nah. I'm not gonna boo him.
I'm not trying to get arrested.
I wouldn't boo him because he's one of our players. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if he was just, yes, he's not highly skilled. Yes, he does look like he's just running around. He doesn't know what he's doing out there. But I don't know. I'm not a fan of booing our players. I think,
like unnecessarily. You know what I mean? Like, I guess if it's like he says something like "esta afición," and some people are gonna boo you. Like you can't get like a Torrente situation. But what is he doing that's causing all the boos? I get it, que no anda al 100, but at least he scored a goal.
I think they're taking it out.
Iván Rodriguez didn't score a goal.
And he brought him. I think that's where it's going. Just like Bava in the connection, Medina, he brought him. And
that's true.
If he's not being productive in the way that fans want him to be, then no. Arturo Ruiz, no. He said I'm booing him. No.
Dude, bro, so Carlos has no choice. So Carlos has no choice but to go in there and hug him.
No, I'm not gonna boo him. No.
No.
What if he has a resurgence? Like, what if he actually has like a good second half and he goes off and like people?
And how do you look like? You look como Mencito.
Then it's like, oh, now you wanna cheer. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be there like, I never booed you, dog. Here, sign my shirt.
I agree, man. I don't like looking como. That's why I don't boo players and stuff like that.
Sign my shirt.
Here, sign my shirt.
Yeah.
Yo no fui. Sign my
It wasn't me.
And that's what it is, bro. Like you're booing that player, and I seen it. One time when Gigliotti, I saw this guy boo him, and then like when we got out the stadium, and because he's like, hey, let's go get some signatures from the players. He pasó Gigliotti. I'm like, dude, you were just booing him, bro. You come on, man. Like
I don't like.
And then I think he actually came and it was cool enough to be like, all right, cool.
2-1. 2-1.
2-1. Said 2-1.
Good, Carlos.
Ready.
Do your job, man.
I was thinking of this 1-0. That's why I'm putting me Arturo think 1-0. 1-0 Leon. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I want to win. If it's a 3-0, if it's a 5-1, whatever. But I want Leon to win. Hopefully Cadiz is
On
it would be
fire.
good if he gets like a brace or like a hat trick in this first game of Leagues Cup. That would be great.
I think he's gonna make him golazo. I think
1-0 would
he's making
be 1-0
golazos.
would be quite the feat. The Timbers have not been
Yeah.
shut out. They've been shut out maybe once this entire season.
So I'm
When
going
they've
with the
lost,
1-0.
when they've
That's
lost,
why.
when they've lost, it's been like a back and forth golea. They've been in a lot of high scoring games.
That's what we need. That is why we need somebody more special than we already don't have. That's why Leonis announced tonight. John Cena music. Dun 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 dun. Bocelli. He's the only one that can do it. He's El Matador, bro.
Not gonna happen.
I can't with you. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and go. We've been potting over an hour, and we'll let Carlos and Louis get back to their shenanigans for the
Portland
night.
Adventures.
Yeah.
Portland Adventures. Make sure to share with us, guys, or on social media, so all our other pod listeners can see you guys are real. You guys are real fans there. Me and Javi will stay back and cheer you
Gotta
guys
work,
on.
man.
Make sure you guys get in and out safe of all these stadiums. So shout out to Edgar on the chat, Don Fiera, and Arturo Ruiz for joining us.
Shout out.
And Arturo Ruiz we'll make it the second one this Sunday, Louis. But yeah, so everybody listening to us on YouTube, thank you so much for stopping by, for sharing your comments and everything. Leagues Cup starts tomorrow, so go ahead and check the schedule if there's any particular game you want to watch.
It's all on Apple
but yeah.
TV.
All on
is.
Apple TV. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do, because last year they gave like a free code or something for people living in Mexico. So I'll either do it on this year, so I'm gonna have to buy it. But nevertheless, we'll be watching. Leon plays on Sunday, so we'll be back next week. We'll see when we'll coordinate and where everybody's at to kind of talk about what happened. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week on another episode of the Lions Den Podcast.